Okay, call the meeting order for Wednesday, January 24th, 2018. Roll call of members, please.
General,
Present.
White,
Yes.
Fox,
Here.
Herder,
Yes.
Pierce.
Yes.
Record show that all members are present.
Okay, you've had a chance to read over the minutes. If there's any additions or corrections. If not, I'd ask for a motion to approve the minutes.
I move to approve.
Second. Been moved and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried. Election of officers for chairman.
I will nominate you.
You've been nominated.
I second the nomination to Tim, that we cast unanimous ballot. Can't do it.
Okay, that's fine. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Vice chairman.
I nominate Steve, if you still want to do it again.
As long as Tim comes to meetings.
Okay, Steve's been nominated. There's any others?
I'll second it.
Okay, been moved and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried. Do you have my public hearing?
I believe
Oh,
Pam
yeah.
has that.
Slack.
Sorry about that.
I should have it memorized, but I don't.
Yeah.
Still say we need to have a little tape recorder, just pushes this.
We talked about that.
I know. Okay, I need to read this before we open public hearing. The public hearing will be conducted pursuant to the Board of Rules of Procedures adopted May 26, 1988. We will first hear the report of the planning director on a detailed information and observation regarding the request, if not done so in written form prior to the hearing. Next, we will take the testimony of the applicant and his and her witnesses. Upon completion of the applicant's testimony, I will call upon members of the audience wishing to make a statement concerning the request. Persons in favor of the request shall be heard first, followed by those who oppose to it. At any time during the presentation of testimony, the members of the board may interrupt to ask questions or to make comments on what has been said. Upon completion of all testimony, the applicant will be allowed to make a closing statement to the board. Upon completion of the applicant's closing statement, we will then hear the recommendations, if any, of the planning director, and upon completion of all discussion, I will entertain a motion to close the public hearing on the request. After the public hearing has been closed, I will entertain a motion from the members of the board regarding the disposition of the application. Each speaker addressing the board shall step forward to the podium, state their name and address before proceeding with their testimony or evidence. I would ask that you would spell your last name. This board shall not be bound by strict rules of evidence, but does reserve the right to exclude evidence or testimony that it may deem to be irrelevant, immaterial, incompetent, or unduly repetitious. As chairman, I will rule on all questions related to the admissibility of evidence, which may be overruled by a majority of the board. The board may grant continuances in case of good cause shown to any interested party who has entered his appearance. The board may at any time request a continuance of the hearing for the purpose of giving further notice, taking further evidence, gathering further information, touring the proposed site, or for other such reasons the board may find sufficient. In such case, we shall state the specific reasons for the continuance and set a date, time, and place when the matter will be continued. All official action of the board should be made at a public hearing by motion made, seconded, and a polling of the membership. If conditions are imposed, such conditions shall be included in the motion or amendment thereto. Our final decision will be prepared in writing and will be part of the public record of this board. Once the board has reached a decision on a case, that decision shall be final. Section 335.18 of the Code of Iowa states, any person or persons jointly or severely aggravated by any decision of the Board of Adjustments under the provision of Chapter 335, or any taxpayer or any officer, department, board, or bureau of the county may present to a court a record of petition duly verified setting forth that such decision was illegal, in whole or in part specifying the grounds of illegality. Such petition shall be presented to the court within 30 days after the filing of the decision in the office of the board. Upon hearing that, I would ask for a motion to open public hearing case CU 201A-01.
So moved.
Second.
Then moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried. Applicant, George or Sharon, or both, whatever you want to do.
Hello, I'm Sharon Omek, Oamek, at 25593 Old Lincoln Highway. George is out of town, but I do have a colleague, Jean Camarado, who's part of the project as well. So I was mentioning to Matt that I do have a PowerPoint. I know that I have some neighbors here, so I don't know. That's your option. If you want me I can go ahead and go through some specifics on the project.
do
I don't
that?
know that it's worth, I only have like 5 slides, but.
If the board wants,
If you prepared them, it seems
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you went to the trouble to do it, then we ought
Right.
to see it.
Okay.
Because I don't want to get to the point if it happened to United, say you didn't get a chance, so, yeah,
Oh,
let's look at it.
It doesn't matter to me, I just
Let's look at it.
want to, okay. But I can chat until,
Sure.
okay.
because that'll take a minute to warm
Okay.
up, so.
I'm glad we're doing this, I didn't know you had that over there.
I didn't know there was I've seen it before, but I didn't know how it was set up. So essentially, my business is Honey Creek Creamery, and I'm a certified dairy, and I've been in existence for 7 years. And been fortunate enough, in 2015, we entered a cheese competition through the American Dairy Goat Association, and we got 2nd place nationally. So we have a good presence. And then we also are part of a Living Lust organization. I don't know if you've heard of that, but it's a marketing collaborative with 8 other businesses in our area that deals with ecotourism. So once a month, we have visitors. They've come from New York, the Ukraine, all over the world to come and visit the Lust Hills. And so basically, when they come to our site, we're showing them how to milk a goat, how we process the cheese. And then in the last 3 years, we've been making goat milk gelato. And it's become really popular. And my issue is I need a retail space. I get asked once a week, where do you sell it? And I do sell it at Hy-Vee and Woolner's, but people want to kind of have the experiential thing. So that's what this proposal is about. And I'm not sure how to move it forward. Do I just click, just right click? Or?
Yeah, I believe
Okay.
so.
Okay. So, so we were proposing to call it Stanley Snack Shack, and just in reverence to one of our ambassador goats that we had. And the project is a combination of a cafe and a market. Part of it would be to sell other people's local products. So we would be utilizing our cheese and gelato that we make, and hopefully sell honey, organic vegetables, or other things that people have grown locally to make the most of the other producers in the area. So that's just the request that we have for the overlay district. The site is currently zoned agricultural. So I just wanted to orient. So this is our farm, and let's see. I think the dairy is like right here. And we're looking at, for the site of this project, being over here, which is immediately off the Old Lincoln Highway and Mahogany Road. And we put in there was a culvert that we put in over the creek, because we have never really had access directly through the farm to that site before. So we've done that improvement. And so that makes it a lot nicer. We have a hollow that people can go down in. And then the view over here is the ski hills. So it's a really nice setting. And then George is looking at moving the cow facility over here. And the site for Stanley Snack Shack we were looking at as being right in this area. When the architect drew the plans, this is a 500-foot mark over here, and that is currently the road that Morans use to funnel out of their site. And there's a lot of traffic from that, farm traffic from that. So I had requested, I had spoken to John Rasmussen in November or December, sent him an email, or I spoke to him December 8th, sent him an email, never heard back from him. We had marked like 250 feet on that site, because generally it's a 500 foot for the access road. And that's pretty far back, and it really does cause a conflict with Moran's for the farm entrance. And so I just heard back from him this afternoon at 3 something. And he said he'd be willing to look at 350 feet for the access road. And I don't,
Now, that's off Mahogany though, correct?
it's off Mahogany. This, just to orient a little further, this is the site where the new bridge went in. So our driveway was literally at the end of the new bridge. And so then there was a guardrail put in pretty far along the old Lincoln Highway. My rough guesstimate is there's maybe between the guardrail and Mahogany's maybe 100 feet. But we have a right of way here now that the county owns. So to me, access is an issue because you're so far back, people aren't going to know how to get in there. And then also, we don't want to get, Morans just have a habit of driving really fast. Those farm tractors. And so I just don't want to have the public and us getting into a chicken match with them on that. So I got the email that I just got from John today. And then I also took some pictures. I didn't get copies for everybody because I just went and did it. But basically, I'll pass these around. But so this is the corner of Old Lincoln Highway and Mahogany. And then there's this sign, and we had flags out there at 250 feet. So, and then you can see the barn there, and that's Moran's barn, and right next to the barn is where that road is that comes out. And then I took a picture from the other way where you can see the flag, and then my car is at the corner of Old Lincoln Highway and Mahogany. This is the floor plan of the Market Restaurant. We have the 88 restaurant on the south side. Access would really be, for customers, would really be more on this side. It says market shelves. We have doorway both in the front and the back. A lot of windows, so we're doing kind of repurposing a storage container, so it kind of has this industrial kind of look to it, and I think real complimentary to the railroad kind of sense from around here. So the neat thing, when the architects helped me lay this out, it's only a 40 by 8 foot building, and when you go in, this would be where the market is, where we would sell our things as well as other producers. And then we have seating for 4 people there. The rest of the seating would be outside seating. Parking would be back behind here. And then, this is all the restaurants, which is Chef Camarada's expertise. And if you would like to talk to him, he's a culinary instructor at Iowa Western Community College and has owned several restaurants himself in the past. So really, we've worked together for 5 years, and I'm excited about having the opportunity to have a restaurant that does local seasonal food for people. It would not be open year-round. It would be like May to November or May to October, 3 or 4 days a week. So it's pretty simple layout. The service windows here, and so it's kind of neat that while the customer's waiting, they can shop in the market. And it's kind of a 1 or 2 person operation for the actual snack shack. So that kind of reiterates. I tried to get the picture, but this is the storage container. At this point, I think we would have slats, and I'd have one area that would be maybe corrugated metal because, for bad weather or something like that. Again, we have Bucyrus Hills, we have the market. The community benefits are, we don't have a restaurant outside of Crescent, and so it would be a good one. We all know what's going on with Mahogany. We're gonna have more traffic on that road regardless. So we would be improving ecotourism, dollar importation into the state and the region. We'd have the ability to promote other producers that are in the area. There are 2 organic farms I work with that are within a mile of me, and so I think just getting that exposure would be good. And then, of course, we have payroll taxes and local food tax and all those good things that would be generating. So that's it.
Yeah, it looks good to me, except for the access off of Old Highway. Lincoln Highway.
Yeah, and so I
we-
kind of didn't understand
Can we get
John's.
off of that highway onto there, because otherwise Mahogany doesn't work, does it, Matt?
Mahogany doesn't work for the code sections as it's
Right.
written right now, no. And I have not had a chance to talk to John myself either to figure out, what we can do to figure out how we can get off Mahogany, or off of Old Lincoln Highway. Cause I know that guardrail does run up there quite a ways, and even if there is a somewhat of I think a concrete turn right there at Mahogany, a little bit of an entrance, even if we could get pushed up closer onto that, somewhere right there around that intersection. I mean, but the way we have the code written is that it has to come off a hard surface road
Yeah, Mahogany's gravel.
currently.
Currently, and that, I don't know the paving, I don't know where we are in the process of that.
You know, they're talking about the new G30 road that's gonna connect Underwood to Crescent. That is the focal point of where G30 will come out at, and it will be a new paved road that comes through there.
It's a timing issue.
So there's no arguments on the fact that that is where it's coming out at. I mean, we know for a fact it's coming out right there. The rest of the road, there's a little bit of controversy on whether it's gonna go a little north, a little south, but, I mean, it's gonna exit out onto Old Lincoln Highway right there.
What would the time frame possibly be for that to be paid? Next 20 years or the next?
No, I think they're thinking more 3 to 5, but maybe even 2. They're talking about dirt work going on this spring. But as far as the total completion of it, I don't know yet.
Then how do you get, if you can't come off Old Lincoln Highway, can you come off of Mahogany? The way it's written now, would you have to get an exception to that, or how does that work? Or can you not even get an exception off of that?
Well, we have a couple different things out there that I think we would have to go back and relook at the way the code was set up to come off the official bituminous road. The goal of the land use plan was to promote ideas such as what
Right.
she has. I mean, it fits right in with what it is, other than the road surfacing type and the distance. I don't know if a distance could be written into it where if you're within 500 feet of the hard surface road, because we do have wineries out there and halls out there on gravel roads that do generate probably more traffic than what
So how
Sharon.
do they get by?
And because of that would be part of what she has going for is because of the ag portion of what they're doing along
I
with
see.
the other activities. Wineries kind of have their own jurisdiction almost, is what you would kind of think of. But Sharon has actually successfully gone through the state legislature before when it comes to her ag portion of her business. And,
Yeah, that's true.
and,
That's your first rodeo.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so I could see that portion of what she does benefiting some sort of winery style setup.
But your concern with having it off of Mahogany is that it's so close to Moran.
If we have to do the 500 feet back, and
Right.
to be honest, when I read John's response, I didn't really understand what he was saying. So if you, I don't know if you could take a
Yeah,
minute.
somebody-
I think what
agree with
he's saying, I think from an intersection, you have to be 500 feet from the intersection.
Mhm.
So
And he's saying he'd grant 350.
he's saying he would grant you 350, but then it says, it looks to me that distance makes highway access impossible. You know,
Which
the
I didn't
350.
understand.
So you grant it,
Because
but it
that's
won't
really
work.
not what you were,
If she came off Old Lincoln Highway, it wouldn't work because the 350 evidently maybe would put you into the guardrail. I don't know.
Oh, so that's what
Yeah,
I
from
didn't
the
understand that
intersection,
highway
right.
access issue that he was saying. I'd be okay coming off Mahogany. The issue I have with the 500 feet is that's Moran's. That's, we kind of share a drive there. And so my goal would be like half of that, 250, if we had our druthers. And that's why I took the pictures of it, to try to give you a sense. That picture is where the white flags are, is at 250 feet back. And I know the regs are what they are, so
Okay,
okay.
any questions for us? Okay, thank you. Anyone else want to speak in favor?
Hi.
Come on up, you want to speak in favor?
Can,
You want to speak
Sharon,
in?
can we use that one picture that has my land on it too?
Sure.
So you're speaking in favor?
Well,
Or you just have questions?
concerned favor.
Concern?
There you go.
she's,
Okay.
Thanks. That's not a
You
good.
want to speak,
Not sure how to go
have some
back.
concern, come on up.
I'm not sure how to do that.
You want to come up and give us your name and call for it, please? I'll get her
There
back.
we go. I think it's right here. There we go.
Yeah,
Is that it, Penny?
yeah.
Okay.
I didn't bring that PowerPoint. So I'm Penelope Core and my address is 25663 Old Lincoln Highway.
Want to
And that-
spell it for us, please?
Oh, Core, C-O-R-E, sorry. On that little square.
Nice.
Yeah.
So this is all theirs and I'm this little square here. Okay?
We-
Make sense? This
Say
is
that
their
again.
driveway, and this was George's uncle and aunt in somewhat way without getting deep into it. We bought this 2 acres last spring, and I did not know where this was going to take place. So that's why I'm here. Hi. And so since she said it's going to take place over yonder, cool. I have no problem with that. The only problem I thought maybe I was going to have was because as of last year, as you can see, the old driveway connects and went around, and everyone was used to using this driveway, which was fine. We understood that. But there is no easement rights, and that's the only reason why I bought it, to make sure there was no easement rights. But, so if everything's staying over yonder, and there's still no reason for easements rights, then I'm in favor. Does that make sense, Sharon?
Oh, yeah. I
Okay.
mean, when we've
Because
done
sometimes the tour buses,
tours and living
Hang on,
bus.
Okay, are
oh,
you?
sorry.
No, go ahead. You have any more? We'll get to
Sometimes
you.
the tour buses are really big, and they come in their driveway, and Sharon has texted me that they're going to have a weekend thingy, and that there will be a tour bus coming through the driveway. And
Oh, I see, they come down another one and go out yours.
they come up theirs and they come down ours, and the only thing we were gonna say was that if it was going to be in this area, that's fine. I mean, I don't care what anybody else does on their land. I'm not here to complain or
Right.
whatever. But what I was saying is that they need to make a turnaround area up here
Sure.
in this area so that they can turn around up yonder and go back down their driveway.
Absolutely.
That's all.
Totally agree with
So,
that.
I'm in favor for whatever they wanna do, as long as it doesn't cause easement rights on any part of the property.
Sure.
Hi, that's it.
Okay.
I'm done.
Okay, thank you. I certainly understand where you're
Short and
coming
sweet to
from.
the point.
Okay. Anyone else want to speak?
If I could stay here, I'd really appreciate it, just because I just had my hip done.
Yeah, just
My
give us
name
your
is
name
Gene.
and,
My name is Gene Camerata, Cammarota. I've been in the restaurant business for 33 years. I've owned a couple of restaurants in Omaha. I've been teacher at Iowa Western for the last 7 years. I teach culinary arts. And I really like the idea of connecting the land with the people. And that's something that I think a lot of people, I have a lot of students that think all the food comes from the grocery store. So I'm excited about the possibilities. I also have had contact with other people in the valley who have organic farms and other food-related businesses who I think would participate also. But I am fully trained in safety, sanitation. We don't want a liquor license, so that would preclude a lot of worry by anybody. I think we're not planning on being, I think we're planning on being more like a cafe than a restaurant, really, where people can come and get a goat gelato cone, have some goat cheese, maybe a salad and some small food, sit and stare at the mountains and relax. So I don't really foresee it being a wild party place or anything else, just a little shack where people can come and have a bite to eat. And we were kind of considering Wednesday evenings and Saturday and Sunday to start with. And I think that there's a tremendous amount of traffic. You know, we actually suffered through the bridge. The bridge was supposed to be done sooner than it was, and we watched how much traffic there was at the bridge. Even when the bridge wasn't open, how many people decided that they should go over and get a ticket. So, you know, the people do come by. And I think with the proper signage, people would be aware that it was there and they wouldn't have to slam on the brakes to turn into mahogany. So I think we do need a place where we can not just sell, but feature what it is we do. And it seems like with the farm in the background, you know, when people say, where does the beef come from? We could say, right there. And I think that's a neat thing to be able to do. And I think we will pay sales tax and all the proper requirement fees to be in business, so it would be good for the county. And that's all I have. Any questions for me?
What flavors of gelato are they
As a matter of fact, we brought some, if you'd like to take some home and try it,
We were just
but
talking about.
we do vanilla, we do all kinds of flavors. If we don't do it and you want it, we'll try it.
is that
But
called
typically,
bribery?
we see what the local farmers have to offer. We did a sour cherry one because somebody had sour cherries. We do peach, we do vanilla, chocolate, the obvious ones. We do a honey vanilla because the honey's so good. So we always try to use seasonally available ingredients also. And the cheese is really good too. And people really like it. And people really like goats. You know, there's a whole lot going on with people doing goat yoga now. I saw that the other day, that I don't know if we'll ever have goat yoga, but goats have a calming effect on people. And I think, you know, it's a nice spot.
Have you
It
seen
really is.
Ferdinand the Bull?
What's that?
Have you seen Ferdinand the Bull? The common goat. There's a common goat in the movie.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh, they have them in horse barns too to keep the horses.
Okay,
Oh.
any other questions? You wanna come back up?
Do I have to? Okay,
Yeah, we'll appreciate
I
it.
do have to,
Yeah.
okay. I was gonna say, if they had signage, that would be good too, because then they would know where to go.
Mhm.
They would know where to go, because most of the time they either turn in their driveway or ours.
Right.
And if they have signage, then they would know where to go, and they wouldn't get lost or confused, and
Okay.
that's it.
Good.
And the goats are nice.
Okay, thank you. Getting back to our question, I guess, how do we handle, I don't wanna close public hearing yet till we might have to, but, it looks like, to me, it looks like a good deal, except for the road situation. Do we pass that then let you handle that?
Yeah, I think
Or not, I mean, I don't wanna not pass it because, okay, you can't come off Old Lincoln Highway.
Any
Just put
further
that-
clarification?
Yeah, I think I think I have to take this back and go back to the engineer and figure out what exactly his issues are and where he's at. And, if that then is a route that is just not going to be, available to us, then we need to go back and look at the code and figure out how does this line up more with what the wineries have going on.
So can we,
When is the start?
Last May,
Yeah,
Yeah, we wanted to open in May, it's a goal.
so when would you
May now.
start building this, do you think? I mean,
Well, they have done a storage container facility project in Omaha, and I'm gonna use the same gentleman that they used, and pretty much, he can turn it around pretty quickly. I wanted to get this approval before I contacted him again, but, you know, basically, he would cut out, you know, the windows and doors, and I'd have the concrete pad poured and sit it there, and then bring in the other contractors. So, you know, it'll, you know, I have a well to drill, I have electricity, so it'll take, you know, from now till May to get it going.
You said you had bus traffic, how much is that, yeah?
Well, I have living lust tours, and that's what Penny was referring to. They have been reduced over time, but we have had that living lust. I brought in some of those brochures. And those are generally cars, and to address the signage issue, the reason I don't put signs out right now, I'll put a sign out if I have a tour, I put the sign out, but if I have a sign out, we're trying to make cheese, I'm a working farm, and I can't have people stopping all the time. So that's why there isn't a sign there on a permanent basis for the dairy. And then here's the Living Lust, and these are cars. So I would say really for the upcoming year, I probably only have maybe 2 bus tours. So.
Okay.
So the February meeting would put us at February 21st. It would give me the February 21st deadline to have this worked out by the engineer or code wise.
is that what we need to do, or can we, if you pass it contingent on what's in the thing, would that work too, if you? I mean,
Not if John's saying that he
Huh?
can't, not if John's saying that he can't have access.
I know, so it doesn't do us any good to pass it if it,
Because then, I mean, you would be passing it, but they would have no access to the site.
right. So then,
so it would put them on hold anyway?
Indefinitely, yeah. So I mean, I need until the February 21st meeting to get the access issues worked out for them on how this can be done. Because I know we have other places out there in the county that are similar in nature, that they're offering somewhat of the same services, even more so, and, we just have to take the agricultural component of what they're doing into a bigger consideration.
okay, then. I don't think we have any other questions.
I'm not sure.
Let's, take a motion to close public hearing. So moved.
Second.
Then move to second, all in favor of closing public hearing, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried. Okay, my next question is then, Matt, if we're gonna go to the 21st, amongst
Hey,
the,
Matt, the schedule says the 28th, but,
Oh, would it be 28th?
yeah, it's the 4th.
Oh, 4th.
But, you know, you can change them.
well, what I was gonna split up my question then is, what's the board's feeling about this? Forget Mahogany and Old Lincoln Highway out of it, what is your feeling about this?
I like,
100%.
I like 100%, yeah, that's right.
So, with that being said, we've gotta leave that up to you. But if you got a hold of the engineer, say, tomorrow or first of the week,
Mhm.
and he says we could do this somehow, you would have the assurance that you could go ahead and contact your person
Great.
And knowing that, well, I mean, I guess, I think the consensus here is that we wanna see it, but it's gotta fit the code. So if Matt got a hold of somebody next week or 10 days and they said, we can make this work, you can't start the project, but you could get the ball rolling.
Right.
And
And
then
then
we
we
would
have
just
to,
bring it back and formally vote on it.
Formally
next
vote on
meeting.
it in February, but you would have the consensus of the committee now and say, oh, this person you were gonna contact, you could have the cement ready to go.
right. Yeah, I'd appreciate having that extra month to try to
Yeah,
get things
I mean, does that,
And it might not, you know, it kind of just all
yeah,
depends on.
but you can work with him, and you don't have to wait
Logistics.
for us to come. Does that make sense, Matt?
It does make sense, yes.
Can we vote and say, and put in that contingent upon the guidelines or the things that they come up with, if they can find it, then it's contingent upon that, it's one of our, we can vote on it and say, that's one of our
The only
things that,
trouble that is, well,
It's gonna change the recommendation of what the conditions
Right.
are gonna be depending upon what we.
because right now it has to come off Old Highways, Old Lincoln Highway, and if you
Mhm.
put that in there, then if they change it to mahogany, our vote isn't any good,
Yeah,
right?
correct. Then we have
can
to
we
come,
just take that one recommendation that you have said and say this condition, where it's it's contingent upon your recommendation of that happen, of what you find out. And if that,
I think it's just, it would probably just be cleaner just to
all right,
have it all in one package.
okay.
I think if you can get something done, you can work with them. We'll bring it back in February, and
I think that's a good plan.
so then we would vote for a continuance of this upon your working with the engineers, basically, why we would have a continuance.
Correct.
Not to review the site or anything like that, just to the ordinance or whatever you want to say.
Yeah, it would just be a continuance in order to,
Further,
further work with the county engineer and or study the ordinances.
for access.
Mhm.
Is that,
Okay, so we need
Who
a
said that?
recommendation.
did you say that?
He said, I said, we all said.
I hear
wait.
motion.
Okay, so I want to move that we continue this process contingent upon what Matt finds out and to the next month, and then we'll vote on it.
Okay,
Second.
move to second. Roll call vote. I guess we could do this one by.
General,
Yes.
Fox,
Yes.
Pierce,
Yes.
Herder,
Yes,
White.
Yes. So that's what we will do.
Appreciate your enthusiasm.
Okay?
thank you, and we have.
Well, we're gonna finish up real quick so we get into that.
Okay.
Other business, we have our meeting schedule,
Correct.
correct?
2018 calendar is out, I think. And we, of course, all the meetings are Wednesdays, 5:30, fourth Wednesday of the month,
yes.
if we have applications.
Do we need to approve that?
We can,
Well, I mean, it's up to you. Do we need to or not?
I don't.
I think we have in the past.
In the past, yeah, we've approved it in the past.
Can we, do we have our attendance in here too?
I think the attendance got 2,000.
It's it's not the right one. You were all here.
Either that or we're all gone.
Yeah, whichever way you want. I think it is all gone.
Yeah. To the Blues present, nobody was here. Thank you for your,
You're welcome.
okay, a motion to approve the 2018 calendar. So moved.
Second,
Then moved and second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same, motion carried. Anything else we need to do?
Have no other business for the board.
I'd ask for a motion for adjournment.
I move we adjourn. Second,
Then moved and second, all in favor say aye.
aye.
Opposed, same, motion carried. We are adjourned.
Got a lot done.
Now.
Tim?
Yeah.
We just did one